Hey guys, we are here today reviewing the Saucony Endorphin Speed 3. Now, this has been a really popular shoe for general runners, someone wanting something that's a bit more of a tempo shoe. We'll start with the upper. The upper's a dual-layered mesh that runs all the way through the foot. You have got a little bit of extra padding and cushioning just around the edges here, just to go underneath your ankle and up the back of your Achilles. The tongue then is quite thin. It's quite minimalistic, but not super minimalistic through there. That's what you'd expect from a shoe that's aimed towards fast paces as well. So I say that this shoe would be on the lines of an Adidas Boston, and I feel like Saucony have done an okay job. I really like the new Boston. I guess it's a semi super shoe trainer, which I feel like this is trying to be. So Saucony's got their Power Run PB foam that runs all the way through this. I think that in future times, they might start to transition a little bit over to the Power Run HG that's on the Saucony Endorphin Elite. I do prefer that foam over this foam. I find this foam a little bit on the soft side, a little bit less responsive, and I guess in terms of energy return, there's not going to be quite as much, but because of that, that's where it's a little bit on the cheaper side as well. Price-wise, you're looking at about 260 Australian dollars at the moment. That's in line with pretty much everything else that's this type of shoe and what it's aimed towards. So yeah, price-wise is pretty good. The rest of the upper, so we've got a firm heel counter at the back to support and control that rear foot. The rear foot then sits into the foam a little bit. So we've got the foam that kind of goes up the edge here, and that's where your heel's gonna sit down to. And that tries to provide an extra little bit of stability through the back. Now, midsole. So the midsole is the Power Run PB, as we mentioned before. It's got a plastic plate that runs through the midfoot just to try and provide an extra little bit of stability through it. And it does an okay job at that. It needs something like that because of how soft the foam is. And I would have liked to have seen a full-length plate in this. Something that's semi-flexible, not necessarily all carbon because it's on that cheaper price point, but a carbon-infused plate that went through this that left a semi-flexible forefoot. I feel like it would have provided a little bit better heel to toe transition. So we've got a few others that are like that along the same lines. Again, we mentioned the Adidas Boston, that's got a plate in it. We've got the Puma Deviate Nitro that has that plate through it again with the Nitro foam. And I feel like this should be more along the lines of those. I feel like the upper, I'm not a big fan of the meshed upper. I like something that's a little bit smoother on the inside. I like something that feels a little bit more premium when I am paying a premium price. So this shoe here, yeah, 260 is not bad in considering the foams and what's gone into it, but I think that the price point could have been a little bit lower. And I hope with the next version, they do make the upper a little bit more premium. As I said before, put a full length plate through it rather than just a small piece of plastic through the midfoot here. The outsole, quite minimalistic. Again, we're going for that racing tempo type of theme throughout the shoe. So that's where it's not gonna be too thick, bulky. Anything that's gonna add extra weight to it, they wanna avoid and stay away from. I feel that anyone who does moderately pronate won't get on that well with the shoe just because it's not that stiff through the front and because the foam is a little bit softer as well. I think that there's better options for those people. But that said, people with a neutral shoe who just want something that's fun, that they can race in, that they can do their daily training in, this shoe is absolutely fine. So yeah, not a bad shoe at all, really popular, a lot of people like it. I definitely recommend going and try it on, but as I said, if you want something that's a little bit more stable but still has a responsive bounce back, I think that there are other options available at the moment. I'd like to say thanks again to Athletes Foot at Pacific Fair for providing the tester shoes. Without them, we wouldn't be able to bring this information to you guys. Thanks, we hope to see you again soon.